Good afternoon, all of you. This is my first video on slides, and in this video, I will discuss about regression analysis. And I welcome all of you to our channel In Search of Research, where we try to explain different types of statistical methodology used for the research, as well as different types of methodology. You can learn methodology through our videos and shorts. So without wasting time, let's discuss about regression analysis. So what exactly regression analysis is? So regression analysis is a tool that help researchers to investigate or modeling, or you can say that examine the relationship between variables. I mean both dependent and independent variables. uh, in regression, we also can say that we can predict the dependent variable with one or many independent variables. Suppose, let's say, I want to say uh, brand image. How the brand image is explained means what are the independent variable or factors that contribute to create brand image. There we can put regression analysis and we can explain the brand image with different variables. Here the dependent variable is the brand image, or independent variables are many, maybe customer satisfaction, maybe brand loyalty, or maybe the product quality. All these independent factors may contribute to the dependent variable, that is brand image. For example, regression analysis is a useful technique for the social science researchers to test the impact of independent variable on dependent variables. Means how this independent variable and how much it has the impact on a particular dependent variable. Because suppose when you model the relationship between one dependent variable and there are many independent variables, then you might be found that there are some variables which has strong impact on dependent variable, which are there are some variables which have less impact on the dependent variable. That is depends on the theory or literature, based on you just model the independent variable, or you included independent variable to explain the dependent variable. There are many types of regression analysis available, but in social science research, most of the time scholars use linear regression for linear relationship between variables. Linear relationship means when we plot the independent variables value and dependent variables value, then it creates a straight line. That is called linear relationship between variables. But there are many other relationship exist, like suppose let's say quadratic relationship between two variables. Then we can get, if we put all these values, and then we can find a parabola. So that is a different kind of relationship. But when the relationship between one dependent variable and independent variable is linear, then we can put regression analysis, simple regression analysis. And in social science research, most of the time we model the relationship between dependent and independent variable is linear. So first we'll discuss about simple linear regression. So because there are two types of regression, first one is simple and another one is multiple linear regression. Then what is simple linear regression? When there are one dependent variable and one independent variable, then we can use simple linear regression. Means one dependent variable, one independent variable. If I say, let's say customer satisfaction and brand loyalty. Here my brand loyalty is the dependent variable and customer satisfaction is the independent variable. Here there are two variables. I can simply put simple linear regression to maybe predict the brand loyalty with customer satisfaction, that is independent variable, or I I would like to check the impact of customer satisfaction on brand loyalty. So whatever, but the aim of this simple linear regression is same. Either you check the impact of your independent variable, either you explain the brand loyalty, the dependent variable, with independent variable, that is customer satisfaction. So we can always express this relationship with a equation, that is y is equal to beta 0 beta 1 x plus, that is this epsilon, or it is called error. So y is the dependent variable, x is the independent variable. You can see that here y is the dependent variable, x is the independent variable. So then beta 0 is the intercept, which is the value of y when x is 0. Means without customer satisfaction also we can say that some sort of brand loyalty exists. Might be from the advertising, or might be from the maybe the the social pressure, or might be word of mouth, that create brand loyalty. Then beta 1 is the slope, which represents the change in y for for a unit change in x. So it is very simple. Means when suppose let's say beta 1 value is 0.4 or 0.5, then we can say that when there is a change, means one change in customer satisfaction, that leads to 0.5 change in your customer loyalty, that is dependent variable. So this E or epsilon is the error term representing the variability or in y that is not explained by the linear relationship with x. Means we cannot fully explain a particular dependent variable with independent variable. There are some sorts of error is there, or it is unexplained part of the dependent variable. Means only customer satisfaction not leads to brand loyalty. There are many other factors which may leads to brand loyalty, but here with with customer satisfaction, that is independent variable, we explain only some amount of variation in brand loyalty. Key assumptions: linearity, the relationship between the variables should be linear. Independence means observations should be independent of each other, means that is not that that no if there is no independence exists, then we can say that if one value of a independent variable that is dependent on another value of that independent variable, then it will be dependent. So every response of your independent variable or dependent variable should be independent. Then homoscedasticity, the variability of the residuals should be constant across all the values of x. What does it mean? Means residuals means the error. So error should be constant, or variability of residuals should be constant across the value of x. If the variable or the variability or the residuals change, means the predicted value of the the original value of x and the predicted value of x, if it is changes, then there is a possibility that all these error term will be predict with each other, or collinear with each other. That leads to inaccurate prediction of the regression coefficient. So that's why the homoscedasticity, that is a assumption, should be there. Normality, the residuals should be normally distributed. Means all the when we predict the original sample, uh, from from original sample we predicted the regression coefficient, then that leads to, means that there is no residuals, and these residuals should be normally distributed. That should not be, if these are not normally distributed, then it may be, cause the uh, inaccurate prediction of the your regression coefficient. That should be, taken care. Then multiple linear regression. Here, when there is one dependent variable and there are many independent variables are there. In multiple regression, you can see that same y is equal to v0, b1, x, b2, x plus bp, xp and e error. Y is the dependent variable. Again, x1, x2 and xp is the independent variables. b0 is the intercept, means where all the x value is 0, then some sort of y exists. Like if you are selling something and if you are doing advertising and you want to predict the sales with advertising, then without advertising some sorts of sales are there, that some amount of sales represent, for example, b0, means the b0 represent the sales without advertising, and is the error. The goal of multiple linear regression is to estimate values of the coefficient b0, b1, b2 be the best fit observed data. This is typically done using techniques such as least square method, which minimize the sum square difference between the observed and predicted value of y. So what does it mean? Means when we estimate the best value for the y to, and that should be expressed in terms of b1, b2 and bp. So here the goal is, the linear regression is to minimize the variation or minimize the error, and it will provide the best value which represent or which predict the y. Because when we plot the data, there are many variability, means data should be distributed, or there are many kind of values arises, but regression will minimize all this and it will give a best value for the each, for the best value for b0, b1, b2, and that is called regression line. If we plot it in a graph, then that is called regression line. Here you can see, so here that is assumption, same assumption, like whatever we have discussed in the simple linear regression. Here is the no perfect multicollinearity. Yes, here it is new, because when there are many independent variables, there is a problem of multicollinearity. Means the independent variables should not correlate with each other. Means if one independent variable is highly correlated with another independent variable, there is no meaning to include all these two variables in that model, in regression model. Because if these two variables are highly correlated, means maybe these variables are almost similar. If I say disposable income and monthly income, these two kinds of income, if you add in your model and you want to predict the, let's say, economic growth of an individual, then disposable income and monthly income, these are highly correlate. So instead of putting all this, you can put monthly income, because monthly income include all this disposable income and every, because disposable income is the part of monthly income. So that should not be there. Means multi-correlate means that all the independent variables are not correlate with each other, or there is a chance that one independent variable may be the, maybe maybe explain to another independent variable. That is also kind of multicollinearity. So that should be taken care by the researchers while collecting data, and they need to be carefully carefully operationally define each independent variable, so that if multicollinearity exists, that should be discarded. And to check the multicollinearity, there are many methods. They can use VI, variance inflation factor. From there they can check whether the multicollinearity exists among the independent variable or not. Homoscedasticity, that is the residuals, means the error should have constant variance across all these values of independent variables. Otherwise, it may be correlate with the independent variable, or it may be the correlate with each other, and maybe leads to inaccurate prediction of beta coefficient. Normality, the residuals should be normally distributed, very important. Okay, so here is the diagram. You can see that all these are the data is, let's say data is plotted, and you can see that here you can say that this is the let's say data of an independent variable. Okay, then a regression line, means the red line is the best fitted line, means it will the best fitted, or it will minimize the error, or it will, you can say that it will best way to predict the dependent variable. And this line is the passing through data. And those they, if you can, if you see that this blue dot, right? Blue dot, for example, let's say blue dot here. Here you can see that these are the far away, right? But these data, these are very close to the plot, means regression line, means this is the best line to predict the dependent variable with this value of independent variables. So I hope this is a very means basic video on regression analysis, and you might learn something. In next session or next video, I will try to run regression in SPSS, and we'll see how we can report this regression analysis output in your research paper. And this video is only for the basic concept, so hope it will help you to understand the concept of regression. Then later we will discuss about the practical, how you can practically run and report the regression analysis. Thank you. Kindly subscribe our channel.